Well, hello there, news fans. Today we have some electrifying news coming straight from the heart of Africa. So buckle up and get ready for a fascinating journey. Gather round because Africa is serving up some serious headlines. The continent is buzzing with activity, and two nations are at the forefront of this excitement. Botswana's new president has teamed up with Captain Traoré of Burkina Faso. This alliance is more than just a handshake. It's a powerful symbol of unity and shared vision. This handshake has people talking, from market stalls in Ouagadougou to office buildings in Gaborone. The buzz is palpable, and everyone is eager to see what this partnership will bring. They are demanding a self-sufficient African military industry. This bold move aims to reduce dependency on foreign military supplies and foster homegrown innovation. For ages, African nations have looked outwards for their defense needs. This reliance has often come at a high cost, both financially and politically. But these leaders are saying, why can't we build our own tanks? Why should we depend on others when we have the talent and resources right here? Why can't we design our own gear? This question is sparking a wave of innovation and creativity across the continent. Imagine an Africa less reliant on foreign powers for its security, an Africa where soldiers march proudly in uniforms designed and manufactured locally. This partnership signals a potential shift in how African nations view their sovereignty. It's about more than just military might. It's about national pride and self-reliance. It's about taking control, building capacity, and rewriting old narratives about dependency. This is a story of empowerment and resilience. Botswana, often seen as a stable player, linking up with Burkina Faso under the assertive leadership of Captain Traoré, is quite the development. This collaboration is a testament to the changing dynamics in African politics. This collaboration is more than just a political statement. It's a strategic maneuver. It represents a new era of cooperation and mutual support. Keep your eyes on this one because it's bound to get interesting. The world is watching and the stakes are high. This move could fundamentally alter the security landscape of the continent. It has the potential to inspire other nations to follow suit and rethink their own defense strategies. It's a big move, folks, a really big move. The future of Africa's security and independence might just be taking shape before our very eyes. Stay tuned for more updates on this groundbreaking development. The core message from this Botswana-Burkina Faso connection is clear. It's a call for a new era, one where African nations take control of their own destiny, especially in the realm of defense. It's a demand for an African military industry that stands on its own. This isn't just a fleeting desire, it's a necessity born out of decades of dependency and the urgent need for self-reliance. For too long, the narrative has been one of reliance. African nations have had to look outward for their defense needs, often at the cost of their own sovereignty and economic stability. Need a fighter jet? Call Paris, or Moscow, or Washington. This has been the norm, but it's a norm that many African leaders are now challenging. But these leaders are saying enough of that. They are united in their vision for a future where Africa is not just a consumer of security solutions, but a producer. They envision a future where African nations design and manufacture their own defense equipment. This vision is not just about creating weapons, it's about fostering innovation and self-sufficiency. This isn't just about national pride, it's about strategic independence. When a nation can defend itself with its own resources, it stands stronger on the global stage. When you rely on others for your security, you're subject to their priorities. This can lead to compromises that may not always align with your national interests. They want Africa to have its own tools and the skills to use them effectively. This means investing in education, training, and infrastructure to build a robust defense industry. Building a domestic military industry means jobs, innovation, and technological advancement within Africa. It can transform economies and create opportunities for millions. This could spur growth in related sectors, from engineering to software development. The ripple effect of a strong defense industry can be felt across various fields, driving overall economic growth. The call is for a fundamental shift, a move away from being consumers of security to becoming producers of it. This shift requires a collective effort and a long-term commitment from all stakeholders. It's about African solutions for African problems, built by African hands. This vision, if realized, could redefine Africa's place in the world, making it a beacon of self-reliance and innovation. So, who is Captain Traoré? For starters, he's young, just 37. Traoré is a military man who seized power in Burkina Faso in a coup in 2022. He presents himself as a Pan-Africanist, rejecting neo-colonialism. During Russia's Victory Day celebrations in Moscow, he stated, The terrorism we are witnessing today comes from imperialism, and we are fighting it. Traoré's rhetoric resonates with many, especially younger Africans frustrated with the status quo. He speaks of sovereignty, dignity, and Africa taking control of its own destiny. Whether he can deliver on his promises remains to be seen, but he has certainly made the world sit up and take notice. The alliance between Botswana's new president and Captain Traoré is about reshaping old relationships. A major theme is a strong pushback against Western influence in Africa. For decades, African nations have maintained close ties with former colonial powers. However, there's a growing feeling that these relationships haven't always served Africa's best interests. This sentiment was highlighted by the recent AFRICOM controversy. AFRICOM's commander accused Traoré of misusing Burkina Faso's gold reserves. The remarks sparked widespread protests across the continent. This pushback isn't about rejecting the West entirely, but demanding a more equal footing. The call for a self-sufficient African military industry is a direct consequence of this desire for greater autonomy. Africa wants to be the author of its own story. From Paris to Moscow, Traoré's diplomatic dance. Traoré has overseen a pivot away from France and towards new allies, most notably Russia. This shift includes reports of Russian paramilitary support in Burkina Faso's security landscape. President Macron of France has criticized Traoré's growing closeness with Russia and China. This diplomatic dance is not unique to Burkina Faso. Other countries in the Sahel, like Mali and Niger, have also distanced themselves from France. These nations have even pulled out of the ECOWAS regional trade and security grouping. They are exploring new avenues, looking for partners who offer more favorable terms. Aligning with Russia brings its own geopolitical baggage. There are concerns about the nature of these new partnerships. It's a high-stakes game of international relations, and Captain Traoré is playing it boldly. The people speak cheers, chants, and concerns. The reaction to Captain Traoré and his policies has been mixed, though with significant support. Traoré has cultivated a following across Africa and the African diaspora. Large rallies have been a common sight, with people expressing support for his anti-imperialist stance. However, there are also significant concerns. Traoré's government has been accused of suppressing opposition voices and curtailing civil society activities. Despite his popular support, Traoré faces immense challenges, including the ongoing Islamist insurgency. His government has failed to quell this violence, which continues to cause immense suffering. This suggests that his grip on power might be more precarious than it appears. Digging deep, reclaiming Africa's mineral wealth. Africa is a continent rich in natural resources, yet for decades, the wealth generated from these resources has often benefited foreign companies and local elites more than the general population. This chapter delves into the efforts being made to reclaim and redistribute this wealth for the benefit of all Africans. A key part of Traoré's agenda is reclaiming control over national resources, particularly gold. Gold mining has been a significant industry in many African countries, but the profits have rarely trickled down to the local communities. Traoré aims to change this by implementing policies that ensure a fairer distribution of wealth. Burkina Faso is a significant gold producer, but benefits haven't always flowed back to the state. The country has vast gold reserves, yet the majority of its population remains impoverished. This paradox is what Traoré is determined to address through his new economic strategies. Traoré is trying to change that with radical economic policies. He believes that by taking control of the gold mining industry, the government can ensure that the wealth generated is used to improve infrastructure, healthcare, and education for all citizens. He established a state-owned mining company and mandated that foreign firms give a 15% stake to Burkina Faso. This move is designed to increase the state's share of mining profits and ensure that more of the wealth stays within the country. He's also pushing for more value addition within the country. By refining and processing gold locally, Burkina Faso can create jobs and increase the value of its exports rather than simply exporting raw materials. The government has nationalized 2 gold mines and plans to take control of more. This bold move is part of a broader strategy to ensure that the country's natural resources are managed in a way that benefits all citizens, not just a select few. This is a high-stakes strategy that could lead to greater revenue for the state. If successful, it could transform Burkina Faso's economy and set a precedent for other African nations to follow. Despite these changes, international financial institutions have provided some positive assessments of Burkina Faso's economic situation. They acknowledge the potential for increased revenue and economic growth, but also caution about the risks involved. While inflation has risen, there are reports that extreme poverty has decreased. This suggests that the government's policies are starting to have a positive impact, although there is still much work to be done. Traoré's government is walking a tightrope, trying to assert national control over resources while maintaining economic stability. The success of these policies could redefine the future of Burkina Faso and potentially inspire other African nations to reclaim their own mineral wealth. Sparks in the Sahel: security shifts and regional tremors. The alliance between Botswana's new president and Captain Traoré is unfolding against a backdrop of intense security challenges. Burkina Faso, along with Mali and Niger, has been battling a violent Islamist insurgency. This conflict has displaced millions and killed thousands. Traoré came to power promising to tackle this insecurity, but it remains a formidable problem. The security situation in the Sahel has significant regional implications. Traoré and his counterparts have withdrawn from the Economic Community of West African States and formed their own alliance of Sahel states. This new alliance aims to foster closer military and economic cooperation. The demand for a self-sufficient African military industry fits into this narrative of self-reliance. If this new axis can foster a stronger African security capacity, it could be a game-changer. The road ahead: forging Africa's military future. The future of the Botswana-Burkina Faso alliance and their vision for an African military industry is challenging but determined. Building a self-sufficient military industry requires immense investment, a skilled workforce, and robust infrastructure. It also needs sustained political will and cooperation among African nations. The international reaction will play a crucial role. Existing global arms suppliers may not welcome increased competition. Navigating this complex web of international relations will require astute diplomacy. The success of this venture will depend on delivering tangible improvements in security for African people. A powerful military industry is a means to a more peaceful, prosperous, and sovereign Africa. The road is long and uncertain.